guys, so the tools you need are a bowl, henna by Reshma in the color rouge, gloves, a drop cloth, and tarp. And the drop cloth and the tarp can be purchased at your local dollar store. The ingredients I use for my henna are olive oil, lemon, honey, cinnamon, and later you'll see water. First you pour the henna in, and I use 2 packs of henna. I have very thick hair and I like to make sure that it's evenly coated or coated very well. So I use 2 packs, and I normally do this anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks or every 6 to 8 weeks. So you pour in both packs of henna. Next you add in your cinnamon. And I can do a cover of what the benefits of cinnamon are in another video. Next you add your honey. I use wild organic honey. And I purchased this particular honey at Target. Next I add extra virgin olive oil, and I purchased the olive oil from Trader Joe's. It's one of the more premium brands of olive oil, I guess. And I kind of just mix that in and kind of mesh it a little bit. And next I cut a lemon in half and I squeeze the juice from the lemon into the mixture. And you can use lemon juice. I prefer to use as close to organic products as possible. I know the cinnamon isn't as super organic, but in terms of the olive oil, the honey, and the lemon, I try to get as close to an organic product as possible. Give it to me. And I don't like the seeds to get into the henna, so I use some type of filter or colander to kind of just make sure that all the seeds and pulp drop into the net rather than into my mixture.
Fresh.
I like to use a fork, and from there you just mix it up. And I just mix it up with only the ingredients that I've added thus far. Then I add in the water, and I add a little bit of water at a time just to kind of gauge the consistency and make sure that it doesn't become too watery. You kind of want it to be more of a thick paste rather than a soupy mess, because that'll be harder to apply to your hair. You can kind of gauge, add water every so often and just kind of gauge how thick it is. Of course, you can always add as much as you like depending on your preference, but I don't like my henna mixture to be too soupy. I like to make sure that it's a thick paste. So I add water, and I don't have measurements for any of the ingredients that I add. I just kind of freehand it and kind of eyeball what I think is a good amount, and that's what I put in. If I try out another brand and do a review on it, maybe I'll do some measuring and I can give you guys a more accurate look at what I use. So this is the final product. So as you can see, it's kind of like a very thick paste. It's a little bit lumpier than I like, but I mashed it up more than that. So in terms of the application, first you have to prep your space, and I use a drop cloth to cover my sink, which you'll see in a moment. And it's very important to properly cover the application area. Henna stains, so you want to make sure it doesn't stain anything that is a surface or material that you wouldn't be able to get it out of, because it's very hard to get out of products or things once it's stained. And I use the tarp on the floor, and that's just to kind of, while I'm standing up applying it, making sure that if anything drops, it doesn't damage the floor. I have tile floor, so I want to make sure it doesn't get in the grout and make the grout dark. So there you see the setup, and that's kind of what I do. So I use a salon cape. You can buy that at your local beauty supply store or Sally's. And also make sure that you have gloves. You want to make sure that your hands don't become stained. So now for application. So I'm going to start with this first section just to kind of give you a quick show or overview of how I applied my henna, and then from there you'll see the full henna result. So again, I like to apply my henna with my hands. If you saw my other henna video or my last henna video, you would have seen the same thing. I like to apply henna with my hands and make sure that I'm just kind of coating my hair from root to tip with the henna, kind of getting all through there. And I like to make sure that it's thoroughly coated so that it can work its magic. Right there. You can also check out my Instagram page. I was applying the henna because henna is good for conditioning your hair, and I had intended to straighten my hair. This is a little bit before Valentine's Day, and I wanted to straighten my hair, so I said, maybe I should apply some henna before to kind of help condition my hair and prep it for straightening. So if you check out my Instagram at Lost Curls, you'll see some of my straighter styles. You just want to make sure you work it in as thoroughly as possible, making sure you coat it from root to tip very well. And if you have thick patches or you decide to do thick sections, make sure you apply it on the top and the underside so that it is thoroughly coated in between the sections. And you want to kind of just rake your fingers through your hair gently to make sure it's all through your hair. And another word of advice, make sure that the gloves that you purchase are a little bit more snug than the ones I have. It makes it a lot easier to apply if you have snug gloves. Gloves that are a little more fitted, doesn't slide around as much. So just secure that in place and work on the next section. So here I am completely done with applying the henna, and now we wait. So I just used 2 plastic bags. You can use showering cap bags or plastic bags, whatever you choose. I choose shower caps. It's big enough for my head, and I can throw them away when I'm done. And it's a good way to recycle or reuse plastic bags. So I use 2 bags just to be sure none of it seeps out and I can sleep without it being too messy. So this is after it's been rinsed out. I left the henna in overnight and woke up the next day and rinsed it out. So this is kind of how my hair looks. You can see a little bit of the tint in the color rouge in my hair. It makes it a little more brown. But my curls are definitely popping a little bit more than they were. This is before conditioning, so I haven't conditioned my hair yet. And I need a trim, but more than anything, the curls kind of bounce back, and that's what I was expecting. So I'm happy with the results, and I would strongly recommend this brand. The verdict: increase in strand thickness, hair very springy and elastic, increase in strength, and overall I love Reshma.